Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Get Out a Wrap. Today, I'm joined by a young super entrepreneur in the AI world who you've probably seen on LinkedIn. He's very much in our contact center space and others, and I'm really excited to be chatting to him today. So, Olly Hobson, founder and creator of Cloudax, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Martin.
No problem at all. I'm gonna get this out of the way. It's both amazing but also annoying to see someone so young doing so well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, just started quite young, but still very hard work.
Oh
But
God, yeah. I mean,
learning lots along the way, and
it's obvious to anyone that knows you and people that might not know you but see you and what you're up to that you are working really, really hard. So why don't you take us right back to the start and that kind of setting up CloudX, why you did it, what was your goal, where did it all start, Ollie?
yeah. So 4 years ago, Leo and I started off with a background developing websites and apps. So it was while we were doing our GCSEs and then carried it on kind of during our A levels. And at the time, it was just we both had a passion for kind of technology and business. And so it wasn't necessarily like, um, we're gonna have something really successful straight away. The main idea was just that we wanted to learn. So I guess with those first projects, it allowed us to learn how to communicate with clients and also to develop kind of our technical skill sets. And then when we left school, after we finished our A levels, we just decided neither of us really wanted to follow kind of a traditional path of university, and we just wanted to get stuck in and kind of learn as much as we could. And so we joined the NatWest Accelerator program, and then that's when we finally decided to specialize in conversational AI. And so for the past, I guess 12 months, it's been 7 days a week, bringing that vision to life. And we're finally starting to, I guess, build very impressive technology. And yeah, I think there's a lot more to come. We're just getting started, but it's been a very interesting ride so far, and just loving. I think the main thing is just learning as much as I can every day.
Where did you start then? You were doing your GCSEs. What was the what was it what was it a love of that led to you to start, and what did you start with?
So the first thing was just kind of developing websites. So Leo just came to me one day and we always talked about starting a business. And he just made us a website that said we develop websites, apps. And he was just kind of like, Ollie, this is our new business. And I was like, and I had another business at the time, or like a side hustle reselling clothes, but I found it quite monotonous. And whereas with this, I've found it really exciting being able to work on different projects. We built a number of kind of passion projects. One called Plate Snapper, where you can put your number plate of a car in, and then it'll tell you all the information about it. Just loads of little projects which got us really interested in kind of technology. And then once we had the opportunity to develop AI voice, that's when we finally kind of got that first idea to specialize down into something. Because I guess we knew we wanted to specialize, but we never really knew where. And as soon as we came across AI voice, we thought it was really interesting. But at the time, the latency was too big. And then when someone on the NatWest program asked us to develop it, that was when we kind of saw that the tech was at a stage where it could work really well and hold these conversations. So that's just when we kind of went all in.
And how did you come across and get on the NatWest Accelerator program?
Yeah, so we were at a networking event. So I kind of tried to throw myself into loads of these events because I guess you never know who you're going to meet. And then someone on the program, Dan Quigley, he owned a cleaning business, and he just told me, it really helped him and his business and introduced me to one of the girls who was running the program at the time. So I reached out to her on LinkedIn and she told me to apply. And yeah, it's been an amazing program. They've got office space in Spinningfields. And to be honest, that's been the main thing for me is just being able to be around kind of like-minded people. I guess, as you know, when you're starting out, especially if you're working from home, it can be a bit kind of lonely, and having a co-founder helps with that. But having a network of people who, you can go to for advice and people will help you with introductions, and that's where we first met Gary as well. So I remember I reached out to, there was a group chat with, I think there was 150 people on the program. So I individually messaged all of them, and then someone just said, oh yeah, Gary Gormley, who's on a previous cohort, he'd be a great person for you to speak to. And yeah, then that's kind of how he came to being our NED. So that was one of the main benefits from the program, I guess.
Well, we will get into you and Double G, Gary Gormley, the lovely and amazing Gary Gormley, in a second. But it would be remiss of me not to ask you about Leo. What's Leo's full name? How did you meet? And how do you divide your kind of work?
Yeah, so Leo Motley, we met in school together. It was really during lockdown. I mean, probably shouldn't be saying this, but because he was in Didsbury, I didn't really know him until then. I think I met him a few months beforehand. But then because we lived like round the corner, he was kind of one of the only people, when we were allowed to, of course, within
Yeah,
the
of course.
met up with him, and so that's kind of how we became a lot closer. Um, and then he's kind of the technical co-founder, and I'm the one who comes up with a lot of the ideas, and then Leo will be like, "This is how we're actually going to do it." And so he's much more of the operator, and I'd say I'm more of a visionary and doing kind of the sales and speaking kind of side of things. And then Leo is the genius behind all the platforms.
Uh, and so then you've gone through this group at NatWest Accelerator. You've met. Did you meet Gary straight away, or did you arrange to meet? Were you always interested in? Could you see how contact centers might benefit from what you do?
Yeah, so I guess we just built the platform or the initial prototype, and we didn't really know which way to take it next. And then someone just recommended I speak with Gary. And so I think, as you know, he's very active on LinkedIn, but it was the fastest acceptance I've ever got. It was literally press the button and it was accepted. So booked a meeting with him literally the next day or something, because Gary, I think, saw where the contact center industry was heading towards kind of this technology. And so he was really helpful in kind of giving us some initial advice. And I guess it was a very natural partnership. And so kind of evolved from that initial conversation. But yeah, been close ever since. And I think it's his birthday today as well. So
Oh, is it? Happy birthday, Gary. I will drop him a message straight after this. So really, now's your opportunity just to let all of the listeners know what is it Cloudax do. Bearing in mind the majority of our audience is in contact centers, what is the application in contact centers of what you do then?
yeah, so with our platform, it does inbound and outbound AI voice. And so we've tried to create the most human-like AI as possible. And our idea is that we want to integrate with human teams. I don't think this technology is about replacing contact centers at all, but I think it's about how you can allow contact center agents to do more, I guess, with potentially less. And so our focus originally was on inbound, but we've built it out to be inbound and outbound. And the system works in 50 different languages. So you train it, we just say whatever you'd give to your human agents, give to us. So we can train it on, FAQs, processes, and that kind of thing. And the main use case I'd say is that this is going to kind of replace IVR systems. And so instead of having, a maze of press one for this and press two for that, and then having to wait and hold, I think what this technology can do is we've been, for a few large insurance companies, looking at the use case of kind of ID&V. And so while previously you'd just kind of be in the phone queue, with this, you can naturally ask it questions. It can search databases in real time. And so the applications are quite vast. But I think in terms of that first point of contact, being able to offer customers the support that they need from minute one, and then potentially arranging a callback. It'll declog the phone lines, deflecting some of the calls. And I think what that'll allow agents to do is then focus more time on the customers who kind of need it most instead of having to chase a constant phone queue.
I think it's great. I think it's great. If I was engaging with the voice AI, can it transfer me to an agent?
Yeah, so with our platform, we've kind of wanted to allow it to perform actions and not just be kind of simple FAQs, but what we can do is human handoff. So if it detects potentially vulnerability or it detects that you're getting frustrated, it can then be pushed to say, okay, actually let me hand you off to a human team. And then what we can do is we can route it to different calls based on, or different phone numbers based on the intent. So you might have, for example, one line for sales, one line for customer support, etc. And then based on what the person says, we can then route it to the right person. Obviously, some of the calls, hopefully, you'd be able to deflect. And then the calls that do go through, at least the agent can kind of pick up from where the AI left off. So they'll get a summary of what's been said, any key points such as their name, any key topics that have been detected, and a high level summary of what's been said. And then they can use that to kind of pick up from where the AI left off. And instead of having to do the kind of repetitive fact finding at the start, they can just go straight into kind of building that relationship and helping with the more complex potential issues.
It sounds great, and we've already spoken about, and we're trialing something within the team leader community. So thank you very, very much for that. I can absolutely see its uses. And you and Gary and just yourself have been very active in our industry at events and sharing your insights and learnings and how it can be applied on LinkedIn and things like that. What's been your impressions of the contact center industry?
I mean, the biggest thing I'd say is that I was surprised how kind of family-like it is. Everyone seems to kind of know everyone, and a real sense of community has struck out from kind of some of the other potential networking events and things that I've been to. It's just that everyone's so tight-knit and friendly with each other, which is something that is kind of very different to other industries where it's potentially a bit more like dog eat dog, kind of, very competitive. Whereas I feel like the contact center industry, straight away, people have been wanting to help me. Everyone seems to kind of know everyone. And yeah, I'd say the main thing is just that sense of community, which is really nice to be hopefully a part of now.
Yeah, most definitely. Where do you where would you like to see Cloudax and your voice AI? Where would you like to see it go in the sort of the immediate future?
I mean, we're definitely kind of in for the long run. So it's not kind of we're not looking to sell the business at all. I really want to just see how we can effectively get more development resources and use that to then help more people. And it's kind of a positive feedback loop. And so really over the next few years, I'm very excited to see what we've built already on kind of with limited resources. But now that we've started to get kind of early traction, it's very exciting to be able to scale that up. And I guess with AI developing so much as well, being able to use things like AI coding tools to be able to do more, I think it's just very exciting to see what's next. And that now that the tech is getting so good, kind of limiting the vision for it, it's kind of you don't have to be capped anymore in terms of what you can think. So I I'm having a lot of thoughts at the moment about what's next. But I'm very excited for kind of the journey, and it's definitely a long-term thing for me.
What are some of those thoughts then? What's next?
Um, I mean, we're looking at integrating with a few CCaaS platforms. And so right now, our email summaries and our platform has the transcription of the conversation, and that's kind of the point of handoff. But what I'm really keen to do is make that a full end-to-end journey where, you get a screen pop within the CCaaS platform and just, I guess right now the AI kind of feeds back into the contact center, but a lot of times what I've heard from people is that the agents can sometimes get calls and not know that the AI has even kind of triaged that person. That's what I've heard from issues from some CCaaS vendors. And so I'm really we've kind of looked at ways we can already join that up, but making it more of a integrated approach. And then also, I'd love to kind of try and do some work in other countries as well. I think that'd be really exciting to just see how different markets operate. And yeah, I guess learn more about other markets and their kind of contact center needs as well.
It sounds brilliant. What has anything surprised you about being a business owner? You mentioned you're working like 7 days a week. You're doing networking events. You're obviously extremely entrepreneurial. Um, but has there been anything in since setting the business up that has surprised you?
Um, I guess just how much some people like want to help you. I think especially being young, I thought it'd be very difficult, but I think a lot of people will often see themselves in you and kind of it surprised me how kind some people can be in terms of offering support and mentorship. And especially kind of within our industry, I do feel like that's a big thing. Obviously, you've got great communities like kind of you provide to people. And I think that surprised me, not in a cynical way, but I just thought everyone's busy with their own life. And so, yeah, I guess I was surprised to kind of see the amount of effort and support that people will provide to you.
I think as I said at the outset, we're especially for us for us people that are older, it's just inspiring to see your energy, your passion. Um, who wouldn't want you to do well? And ultimately, it's because you're offering a really good service that's going to help us as an industry, but also customers and everyone that's working within the industry um, do well. And it's great to see young, entrepreneurial, clever people who are passionate about making a difference come in. So more power to you.
No, thank you very much.
Um, what advice would you give then to, you started when you were doing your GCSEs. What advice would you give to people that maybe of a similar age who might have that spark of wanting to run their own business and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that it's very hard, but that my mum always says if it's not all right, then it's not the end. Like, just I think the main thing for anything, to be honest, is just to never give up, and that if you make that switch in your mind that you're not going to give up, then every failure or thing that goes wrong just becomes a lesson. And I think that's a very powerful mental switch that if you're gonna like start anyone who wants to start their own business, I'd say that's the most important thing because then you just look for ways to overcome things. Whereas if you're kind of something goes wrong and you're thinking about giving up, then I think that's the wrong way to look at it if you're kind of going out by yourself.
Love it. You win or you learn, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, there might be people listening that are in a contact center that hasn't yet taken the first step to engaging with AI. Everyone is aware of it. It seems like something that people should be doing, and a lot are. But there'll also be some that are not. Other than just engaging with you, where would you think, what would you recommend to people is a good place to start?
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a lot of noise, and so it can be quite confusing as kind of as you mentioned, knowing where to start. Kind of hearing so many different people speak about it and not knowing which direction to go in. And so, yeah, other than speaking with me, um, I would say the most important thing is to just first get the processes in place, and the main thing is the knowledge base. So if you have any AI system, whether it's kind of uh, conversational AI or agent assistance, then the brain behind this is going to be your knowledge base. And so before you kind of think about setting up your AI solutions, if your knowledge is scattered everywhere and kind of it's not up to standard, then training an AI on that knowledge isn't going to create the best solution possible. And so I'd say the first place to start is just, and it'll help your contact center agents as well, is just that knowledge-based piece. Some people are very good at it. Some people, Gary's got a knowledge matrix, so he's got a grading scale for it. So I'd just say, yeah, your knowledge base is the first place to start. And also, I guess just focusing on the right use cases and not doing it for the sake of it. Like, identify the problems and then work backwards to the technology as opposed to being like, we need the technology just because it's a new buzzword. I'd say that'd be my advice.
Really, really good advice. And when when you think not just for our industry, not just for what you are doing, but you're someone with your finger on the pulse. How do you feel about the development of AI technology? I mean, it is going at such a startling pace. Is that something that, should we be scared?
Yeah, I mean, at one point I was very scared about it. But I also think that the CEOs of all these AI labs obviously benefit a lot from making you think that it's moving extremely fast. So it is moving extremely fast, and we've seen an insane amount of progress. Um, I do think it'll carry on. But the thing is, when this tech started coming into like the public domain a few years ago, I was really worried, that it was going to replace everything very fast. But the world that we live in is relatively the same compared to like 2 years ago. We all have access to amazing tools now, but I'm very hopeful that this tech is going to benefit and augment people as opposed to replacing them because I think one is a very utopian reality where, like the internet, we use it as a tool and it benefits everyone. And what it'll do for healthcare is amazing. I mean, we've just mapped like every protein structure in the world. So, in terms of discovering new medicines and things like that, it's fantastic what it can do for humanity. Um, I think there is like another dystopian world where these AI kind of like replaces everyone. But I'm very hopeful that we can use this as a tool that benefits all of us and that we can kind of, like the internet, move up the value chain as opposed to just looking at this as a simple way to kind of replace stuff. It's not what I would want to see happen, but I do think is a potential risk that some people could potentially want.
I prefer your vision. I'm with you on that one. I think it can only make us better overall. But that often doesn't make good news stories, does it? It's better to it's there's often a need to make us think about some of the less likely but more scary outcomes. So I'm with you. I think it can only make us better.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
and,
Apple did a study where they showed that kind of these systems are very good at memory recall, but we've not yet got to a point where they are like extremely intelligent and thinking for themselves, which they seem to be. I mean, you'd have to look into the study more, but it was kind of opposing everything that the AI labs were saying. But it kind of also makes sense that the AI labs would want you to think. I mean, don't get me wrong, these tools are very, very useful. For example, AI coding is incredible, and I use AI like every day to help increase my productivity. But it's kind of interesting to see another huge tech voice to say, maybe a lot of this is all hype. So it'll be very interesting to kind of see what happens over the next few years. But yeah, there is no denying that it's moving very fast.
and you will be part of shaping what the future looks like.
Yeah, I mean, not quite at the level of the guys in San Francisco, but hopefully I can have a small part to play in ensuring that, this tech can help deliver, better customer service and outcomes to people.
And where can people find you next? What's your next event that you're going to be at?
I'll be at the Contact Center Expo. What else have we got on? And to be fair, we've not planned anything yet, but we are also planning on potentially putting on another event in Manchester. So we're still early days planning this, but potentially an event sometime soon in Manchester.
And
Um,
of course, people can connect with you on LinkedIn,
yeah,
check out your website, and they might also get to see Gary there as well.
yeah, definitely. He's a frequent visitor of the LinkedIn page. So it's just Olly Hobson on LinkedIn, I believe.
Yes, and Ollie, I'm really looking forward to seeing you in person at the expo. I think it's great what you're doing. You've been like a breath of fresh air. We're working together on the team leader community. Um, what's your, the next thing on your to-do list?
I mean, right now we've just incorporated kind of dynamic tools. So the AI can search CRMs or databases in real time. And so that lets us pull in, the weather or for the status of someone's order, or it lets us perform ID&V. And so right now we're just looking at, now that we've built that infrastructure, all the different use cases for it. So I'd say we've got up to a certain level, and now we're kind of uh, going to market and looking at the use cases. And then in terms of what's next, um, I think it is just building out that more integrated kind of customer journey and looking at how we integrate with CCaaS platforms and kind of the end-to-end customer journey so that you can then see, this is what the AI said, here's where it got handed off to an agent, and looking at that more rounded customer journey. Because I
I
think
love it.
that's what will benefit customers the most.
I love it. You'll have to come back on. Maybe we can just do one every 6 months or one every year, and each time I just want to keep talking to you before you become too famous that
No, we'll always be around, Martin.
Olly Hobson from Cloudax, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you very
on.
much.
And I think what you're doing is great. And you're dead right about our industry. I think everyone wants to see each other do well, but especially when you're a young, nice entrepreneur, and that's really good to see.
No, thank you very much. And yeah, thank you for having me on.